What up, man? Moetown Lee, One Music Fest family.
What up, y'all? Jay Carter, founder of One Music Fest.
What's good, family? Troy Brown, One Music Fest.
We just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got Troy Brown, Jay Carter, and Mo Lee, the founders of One Music Festival, jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, fellas?
Yes, sir.
What's good? What's good, brother?
Good.
Coolin'. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. It's definitely a pleasure having you brothers on the porch. You guys have, been doing some remarkable work here in Atlanta. For over 15 years with your festival, with the One Music Festival, but then you guys have all individually, have, great stories and have gone, down these paths to get to where you are today. So definitely want to just thank you guys for your contribution and want to, tap into your stories and get to know you guys more.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank you for having us, bro.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here.
No, for sure, man. I think our audience, for our audience, it's super important for them to not only hear the stories from these artists and the producers that, that they follow the music from and love, but then also to be able to hear the stories from the people behind the scenes. Because as we know, there's so many people that are sitting at home where they're from, aspiring to get into this business, some not knowing that there are other ways to get in besides being an artist, besides being a talent, you know what I'm saying? So this is why, I love doing these interviews here where we're able to tap into the people that are really pulling the strings, behind the scenes and everything. So
Real talk.
Absolutely.
Yep.
yeah, so let's get cracking with it. So Jay Carter,
Yeah, man.
can you tell us, just how did you even, find your love for the culture? Where did you, when did you first know that you loved hip hop and wanted to be a part of this culture?
Oh, wow, bro. I mean, that goes way back. So I'm originally from Harlem, and I moved to Atlanta right before high school. But in Harlem, I was exposed to hip hop. I mean, growing up in Harlem. And I know the first time, and I tell Doug right to his face, man, I say, yo, there was Dougie Fresh. He was at a rooftop party in Harlem. I was probably 10, 11 years old. And whatever I was feeling and seeing at that moment, I was like, yo, I want to be a part of this. Because it was just, it was infectious. The people was moving. It was harmonious. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably the first time I really felt the hit of music, and was affected by it. But as far as the live music scene, I always loved live music. I owned a live music venue in the early 2000s that really kind of catapulted my love for live music and wanted to understand the live music space a little bit better.
Got you. And when would you say you jumped off the porch?
Shit, man. I jumped off the porch probably in 2000, 2001. I jumped off the porch, was moonlighting, doing some events, and was still in corporate America. And really just kind of stumbled upon doing events. I was always a social cat. I used to throw big, ridiculous house parties back in the day, and my homegirl that used to run Keith Sweat's spot in Atlanta, she came to the house party, and I was out in Stone Mountain. Saturday night, we had probably, 400 people at the house. And she was like, how are you getting 400 people to a house party on a Saturday night in Stone Mountain in Atlanta?
Yeah.
And I didn't have an answer for it. I was like, I don't know, shit. I mean, we hit up the homies, and they fought through it, and the homegirls fought through, and everybody bring a little something through, and it was just a groove. So she said, I need you to do this for us at the club. And my response to her was, if you pay for it, I'll do it. But I had no interest in being a promoter. That wasn't my thing. But the first event I did kind of popped, and people was like, you got to keep it going, man.
Yeah. Wow. And you know, it's always those scenarios where we're willing to jump outside of our comfort zone.
Right.
We step into a realm that we didn't even know we might be good in,
Right.
and then find out that like some of your true talent actually lies there.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sometimes your destiny and your purpose taps you on the shoulder.
Yeah, nah,
It kind of
for
pushes
sure.
you along, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Moetown Lee, Compton's finest. Brother, how'd you get a name like Motown? You know, Motown is such a legendary, so legendary.
And I'm not from Detroit. All the Detroit people out there, man, I'm not from Detroit. Yeah, so I grew up playing baseball, and I used to hit home runs, and they used to call me downtown. I hated being called downtown because like the older kids used to be like downtown meant something. I was like, man, I ain't finna be called downtown. So randomly the coach just started calling me Motown. As I grew up, I started DJing, and I was looking for a DJ name. And one of my homeboys, as a joke, he put Motown. He used to like draw flyers, and he just drew it out and put Motown on there. I was like, man, come on. But people just literally just start calling me that. So from 12, 13, I just been Motown.
Yeah.
And it just stuck. And it just like, as I grew in DJing and all that, it just was like, all right, it works.
Yeah.
So it's been Motown.
Word. And at what point did you, establish your independence, or AKA, jump off the porch?
Man, depending on what time we talk about jumping out the porch. I was like,
Wow. Yeah.
I started like, with DJing, like DJing was like my refuge from like gang banging and all that. But I like one of my homeboys, older homeboys, he ended up giving me DJ equipment. So I started, he was like, look man, just make as long as you making mixes and stuff for us, like we good, and do whatever party I ask you to do. So I just started DJing and doing that, and then I had the opportunity to go on tour with this dude named Paperboy. You know what I'm saying? He had this song called The Diddy.
The Diddy, I remember that.
So I ended up, going on tour with him as his DJ, and while working with him, like while we was on tour with Tupac, so I ended up like doubling as Pape's DJ and Pac's DJ. But then I ended up just getting a job. After that, I got a job at a record label, like doing record pool and mix show stuff. So I was doing that, and I had to report with all the DJs because I was a DJ, and they asked me like, "Yo, you want to go to Atlanta?" I was like, "All right." So I was supposed to come to Atlanta for a couple weeks.
What label was that too?
Priority. I was at Priority, and this is the time when they had Master P and all that. Like, so No Limit was like bubbling up, and they was like, "Look, you want to go to Atlanta? I was supposed to come down here and cover for somebody who was having surgery." So I came down, and they was like, "Look, you want to stay?" I'm thinking like, I'm looking around, it's like black people driving Benzes and all kind, and people my age. I was like, hell yeah, like I'm never going back home. So I ended up staying, man, and it just never went back.
Wow, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And Troy, how did
sir.
you,
Yes, sir.
how did you get your start, man? How was your come up?
Wow. So I've had family in the music industry my whole life, right? So my mother went to high school with Donna Summer. I'm from Boston, so
Okay.
my mother went to high school with Donna Summer. They grew up together. They used to sing together in high school. She sang background for Donna Summer. My uncle was best friends, one of the close friends, best friends with Maurice Starr and that whole camp in Boston. So I grew up in that whole camp. You name all the groups, New Edition, New Kids. There was a lot of other groups, Picture Perfect. There was literally, Maurice had a camp of probably 10 to 12 groups that were kind of younger teen groups. So just grew up in that whole camp. But even throughout school, my mom was like, "Nah, you're going to school." Like you. So I ended up playing ball in college, high school All-American. Got out of college, got into the corporate space, and at night I was in the studios writing, producing, had a publishing deal. But I was always focused on the business of it as well, right? So I saw everybody go through the creative side of it. A lot of success, a lot of downfall, but I was always interested in the people who were behind the scenes, right? The first people that had the beepers, the first people that had the mobile phones, the ones that had the, all the accoutrements, if you will, the best cars or whatever. I was like, that business, he's calling the shots, right? Maurice was calling the shots. Larry Wu was calling the shots. So I was always interested in that aspect of it.
Word. And Boston's an interesting place because I think a lot of people don't know like how segregated of a city Boston is, and then like the street side of Boston is really
It's
street.
deep.
Yeah.
People don't, and there's a lot of us up there. Don't let them tell you there's not.
Right.
But the streets are heavy in the city.
No, for sure. When would you say you jumped off the porch?
I think I always had one foot on and one foot off, because you're regimented playing sports, but then it was the music side, college sports, and then at night in the studio, corporate job, at night literally around the clock in the studio, running in the streets of New York City, knew everybody in the entertainment industry. But I think finally, probably in '94, was when I started thinking about the marketing and the branding and how it all comes together, the digital side of things, because at the time I was at Verizon, launching and building product and services. So I was like, oh, okay. And I could see, based upon their corporate roadmap, to be honest with you, 10 years ahead, how they were planning on audio and digital and entertainment to come together. So everything that people are seeing now, this has been in the works for a long time.
Word. That's what's up. So One Music Fest, you guys are celebrating 15 years this year. Could you imagine, when starting the first one, when it was just at an idea, that 15 years later, like we'd be, synonymous with, celebrating the 50th year, 50 years of hip hop and things like that you would have, this entity that has lasted the test of time, you could say.
No, I mean, honestly, when it, as far as the idea of it, idea came from really trying to fix a problem, honestly. So it was around 2008, 2009, I was just kind of mulling around with the idea after looking at other festivals, seeing Lollapalooza, and you got your Bonnaroo's, and they would have hip hop and showcase black culture on stage, but the people that were receiving it didn't look like me, right? But those moments were incredible. There was the same kind of infectious feeling I felt on that rooftop listening to Dougie Fresh at 10, 11 years old. Like, outside of a concert, where else can you get that? Where else can you experience generational, have a multi-generational, multi-genre black experience, multiple stages outside with thousands of people? It just didn't exist. And so I was looking for it in 08, 09. I couldn't find it. And I was working closely with a lot of brands already. And I pitched the idea to a few of my clients, and they thought it was a great idea. And so at that point, I just had to kind of reach out to the folks around me to kind of piece this thing together. And 2010 was the first year. How long, how big? I thought the brand of festival could get, I don't know, but once it started rolling, the dream was to always, figure out how to be in the biggest green space in Atlanta, and kind of create this pilgrimage for black folks from all over to kind of come here to enjoy and celebrate our culture in a safe place. We deserve that kind of joy and exchange, and that shit just didn't exist. So that was always the idea. So becoming like the largest outdoor black festival, why not, right? Why not us? But the plan was always just to stay on a righteous course and to build something special for the culture. Sure. Everything else will figure itself out.
I mean, and then with the huge lineup like this year, I mean, we got Gunna, Cardi B, Jill Scott, Sexy Red, Glorilla, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah, man.
I mean, just with such a diverse list of, you know, of artists and you know, just huge mainstay artists. I mean, you know, going from, you know, your first show, I'm gonna say this so many times because I know that, you know, it's just, you know, going from, you know, starting it, you know what I mean? And then, you know, being here where, I mean, this isn't just, you know, like a mom and pop festival. I mean, this is like A-list artists,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the cream of the crop.
Right.
What did it take to get to 15 years, you know, to doing this?
I mean, it took a lot of sacrifice, honestly. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of relationship building, a lot of understanding. I mean, we were building the boat while we were, you know, already casted off and, you know, holes in the boat and not enough oars in the water. And we said, all right, well, we gotta figure this thing out. So I would say a lot of sacrifice, a lot of team building, a lot of mistakes. I think you learn better from your mistakes than you do your successes.
Yeah.
You learn what not to do.
Absolutely.
So it was, you know, I mean, it's a journey, but it's a journey we're still experiencing. So yeah, man.
Yeah. And last year, the festival was at Piedmont Park. Was that that was the first time it was at Piedmont Park? Is that correct?
That was the first time at Piedmont Park.
And you guys had record-breaking numbers, over 100,000 people at the festival, just engaged, like, you know, people that love the culture, love the art.
Right.
I saw somewhere that you said that, you know, this festival isn't just about the music, but it's about the art.
Right.
I mean, it is. It's. I mean, what you should. I mean, if you love our culture, if you're a part of our culture, when you walk through the gates of One Music Fest, it should feel very familiar, right? The smells, what you hear, the people that you see, the style, the fashion, everything. You know, like from, you know, a group of ladies and then over there playing, you know, hopscotch and double dutch and roller skating, and then you look over here and you see, you know, your local Caribbean family over here making roti and everything in between, and then you turn around and you say, oh shit, it's Cardi B on the stage, right? Like, it should just feel very familiar to Black and brown culture, man. I mean, and I think one of the things that we pride ourselves on is being something that's also generational, right? So, you know, when you were a kid, when you was a teenager, and you went to a teenage house party, right? How you act and how you move in that teenage house party is different than how you move at a family reunion in the same house.
True that.
Right?
Yeah.
You got Auntie TT over here, I got my little cousins over here, I got my big cousin over here, you know, mom and dad over here.
Yeah.
We still kicking it. We still turning up. You know what I'm saying? Like Cousin Ray over there in the corner smoking weed in the corner of the, you know, of the backyard, and you know what I'm saying? And we over here is taking sips behind the bar and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still, but you move a little bit differently. So
Sure.
when you say having Earth, Wind and Fire on the same lineup as a Sexy Red, and people like, how you do that? Why the hell wouldn't we do that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why can't we have all aspects and beautiful aspects of our culture and music in one place and experiencing that together? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with bringing your son or your daughter to the festival,
Yeah.
and bringing moms too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a little bit for everybody.
Absolutely. And I think that people have to also respect where the music was where the music was sampled from, where some of the current
Absolutely.
music
No
is
doubt.
sampled from. So
No doubt.
I think, you know, it's like an education process for the fans and even for some of the artists
Yeah.
when you line up these artists together, you know.
It's interesting you say that because last year, Elder Barge is on the stage in the
Yeah.
middle of the day, right? And he's killing the ladies. You know, some of the older ladies are swooning, but the younger ones is like, oh my God, he sounds incredible. And then the song drops and they're like, yo, that's the Ashanti record. Or
That's right.
yo, that's the Biggie record.
That's right.
Or, yo. And I was like, that's what it's all about. Like sometimes they just don't know where it came from.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure.
We program the festival. When you think about One Music Fest, you're gonna think about Atlanta. We're not only based here, but Atlanta is the melting pot. I mean, look at us. We're all from different places, and we based here, and we love the city. So when you think about One Music Fest, you're gonna have the love, but you're gonna always feel like, okay, this is home.
Absolutely.
Like, you come to Atlanta, like you moved it. Most people who moved to Atlanta, they transplants. They feel like this is our adult home.
Yeah.
Like they embrace it. Like we embraced it. So that's why we take pride in not only putting on the festival, not only the artists and what we do, but also what we put back into the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's politically, whether it's economically, like we pride ourselves on doing that.
Yeah, and you guys have in doing that, you guys have been so true to Atlanta. Like I even see the stage that you guys have this year, the anthem stage. So you got Young Dro, Travis Porter, the East Side Boys. You know what I mean? Like just a lot of like legendary, you know, acts like from the A. Greg Street, I know is curating that. So yeah. Can you guys speak to, you know, more like about the experience of the festival and like what people should expect when they pull up?
I think, you know, if you ever been to a HBCU homecoming, like it's that energy. And for those that have not experienced like a HBCU homecoming, it is harmonious, right? It is a celebration of each other. It is a safe place to be celebrated, to exchange. I mean, you got your merchants over here, your food over here, your different activations over here, the big game and the band going on in the background. So instead of the big game and the band, it's 3 huge stages with national acts that speak directly to our culture. It's I mean, it's a multi-sensory like overload, man. I mean, people. I mean, we get a lot of emails and DMs from folks. I was like, yo, what the fuck was that? Like that was incredible. I've never felt something like that, you know. So, and I think so many times when people talk about large gathering of Black and brown people, you know, and believe me, I heard it initially when we first started going down this path, that folks would want to call it a liability, right? Well, that's too many folks, man. That's too many Black folks out there. But when they leave, they be like, what the, yo, like that felt like some dude stepped on my foot and turned around and brought me a beer. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy is different. Not to be on some old, you know, kumbaya moment, but it's a motherfucking kumbaya moment, man. Like it's kind of like you come there with you may come with an expectation, but you leave with something totally different and saying, you know what, I need that. We need that, the culture needs that, the city needs that, Black music needs that, and I'm gonna come every year. This is gonna be my thing, be it if you're from Oakland or LA or if you're from, you know, College Park. Like 50% of our audience is not even from Atlanta. 50% of our audience is traveling from across the globe.
Yeah.
We've had people come from Australia. We had people come from the Caribbean, from Canada. We see people buying tickets in Alaska. I mean, they may be military, but they buying tickets in Alaska and coming to Atlanta. But it's that. It is a pilgrimage.
Yeah.
We doing we thought about it this year. We're doing a campaign this year. How many people met their wives or their husbands at One Music Fest? Like we literally had like a bunch of people who actually met their lifelong partner.
Wow.
So it's just like, you know, you're gonna have those experiences.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna feel like home.
Yeah,
So it's like that. We telling you it's like that.
yeah,
You a single Black man.
Listen, you
You
better
trying to
come find
find
her.
yo. Put on some smell good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Clean up a little bit, get that edge up.
Yeah.
Step outside.
She'll be there.
Yeah.
She'll be there.
Right. Speaking of, giving the city what it needed, giving the culture what it needed. In 2016, you guys did that. You guys did something that nobody ever thought, could be done.
Right.
But you guys brought Big Boy and Andre 3000, Outkast, together on stage for the first time in over 10 plus years or something like that at that time.
Yeah, man.
That was such a legendary show.
Dungeon.
Yeah.
Can you guys speak to that show, and even how did y'all make that happen? Was that an idea that came from your side, or was it,
First of all, definitely shout out to the icon, rest in peace, Rico Wade.
Yes.
Because without him
Absolutely.
and Orlando McGee, that moment wouldn't have happened.
Nah, yeah. So they were, it's an idea on our part, but they were the catalyst. They were the glue. And ironically, right, 2 years prior, a year and a half prior, Outkast went on tour, like the finale, right? And I fought like hell. To try to get that. Like, I wanted to book that. I said I need that, and somebody else was able to secure the deal on the Outkast show. And I think everything happens for a reason. Because if that happened for us in 14, we would not have had the experience in 16. But in 16, we was really 15 was kicking around the idea, the what if. And Mo and I went to lunch with Orlando, Rico, and sat down, just kind of talked about it a little bit. And they said, let me just throw it out there. Let me throw it out to the fellas. Let's see what they think. And so I got to give Big Boy his credit as well. Like he was a part of the glue that helped piece this thing together. But they came back. They said, look, everybody wants to do it, but we don't know if Dre's gonna do it though. And we said, oh, okay. But he was like, but still and yet, Atlanta doing a Dungeon Family reunion is a big deal. And I said, I was in Atlanta since the late 80s. And I said, hands down, abso-fucking-lutely, that's a big deal. All right, let's do it. Yeah. Let's figure it out. And if Dre decides to be a part of it on the tail end, then, that's just the cherry on top, right? And so went through the KP was doing the music arrangement for it. And they started piecing it together. And what Rico and Orlando said is they put everybody on a text thread together. And he said that has not happened in ever. Like everybody just kind of communicating how they wanted to feel, what songs must we include, what's the energy, we doing a live band, we doing DJ, so that they had that thread, that's how they communicated. And time to time, Dre would just kind of pop in, just say something. Then Orlando invited us down to one of the rehearsals, and Dre was there. I was like, oh shit. And they was like, don't say nothing. Shut the fuck up. Just
let him be.
Just chill. Let him be. Let him cook. And so I was like, nah, cool. I mean, whatever, it's all good. And then I said, after the rehearsal, he was like, yo, so what Dre think about they said, he had some suggestions, like how we should clean it up a little bit. And I said, well, that's a good sign. That's a good look. But still, they was like, I have no idea.
Right, no confirmation.
If he's gonna be there. And then we really didn't know until probably 30 minutes before he got on stage. We didn't even know he was there. Like, all the fellas showed up, you know what I'm saying? From all the Goody, you know what I'm saying? Like, the entire Dungeon family showed up. And we was over at the other stage, because there was 2 stages in 16. We was at the stage watching Erykah Badu on stage. And she said, I don't know how she got the alert, but she was like, I ain't gonna keep y'all too long, because I know y'all wanna go see the Dungeon Family reunion at the other stage, and Dre just pulled up.
Yeah.
Yo, when I say everybody left her stage and made a beeline for the other stage, I was like, oh, and we did the same thing. We had a little golf cart, about 5 of us in the golf cart trying to run across the field to get to the, and we got there, we got to the back of the house, and he was back there smiling, chilling, high-fiving, hugging, taking pictures, and still at that moment they said, this is still not a confirmation that he's going to perform on stage. And we was like, bet, whatever happens, happens. And he took it upon himself, man. And Big Boy, what was the first song they did?
Sky High.
Sky High. And was that the first?
Yeah, 'cause remember Get came out by itself. Yeah, Get came out, and then they came out together.
Okay.
And it's Black Ice, Sky High.
And then you just see him come. You see the Scully and his blue sweatshirt, some jeans, and you know he the only guy that will have a wired mic. Everybody else is wireless.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he liked the wired. So he saw somebody getting the wired mic together, and I was like, nah, hell no. Oh. He comes out on stage, everybody goes bananas. Bananas, they go crazy.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, and you was there, you remember?
Absolutely.
Y'all was grown men in the audience crying.
Yeah.
Because folks from Atlanta realized at that moment, I may never see this shit again.
Right.
And
The pride that audience had, like to the latter part of their set, when
They got it.
They did Kryptonite.
Yeah.
That was the night I was like, oh, this that A-Town anthem right here.
I said, if they do Liberation, I said everything's gonna be snotty nosed. Everybody gonna be crying. It's gonna be a moment. I think they didn't do Liberation, did they?
They did at the end.
They sure did.
Yeah.
Because
At the
Erica came on stage. Erica Badu joined them on stage, and they sure did. That shit was crazy.
Heard CeeLo on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Nah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, that show was so legendary. But then you guys have just throughout the years have had so many legendary artists from Kendrick Lamar, Janet Jackson, Lauryn Hill, Usher. You know, the list goes on. You know, do you guys have any favorite years or any favorite sets or, you know what I mean, anything like that you guys can maybe reflect on?
19 is my favorite year. 19.
We just talked about this.
19 was my personal favorite year. I think that if you look at the 2019's lineup in totality, like it was a hodgepodge of like acts. We had 3 6 Mafia together after 19 years that year.
Yeah, the Wu-Tang reunion.
Wu-Tang reunion.
Yeah.
DMX's
last
big
performance. Yeah.
Shit, Young Dolph was that year.
Dolph was
He
there.
was that year.
Yep. I mean, Kurt Franklin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kurt Franklin. KP and Friends was Usher, Pharrell, and all of them.
No, Kirk was 21.
Oh.
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
Raphael.
that was Santana.
Raphael, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had, this is when she was up and coming before, like, Snow Allegra.
Yeah.
Was
But
there.
yeah,
Like,
but
it was-
Usher, Pharrell.
Ari Lennox was that year too.
We did have Ari Lennox that year. It was crazy. Ray Shrimp
Yeah.
was that year.
They were climbing up the damn scrims.
Gucci Mane. It was
He had the
I
Florida
mean,
set.
The Florida
Yeah.
All-Star set, yeah.
Did Uncle Luke came on
yeah.
stage? Trina. Bro, it was crazy. That year was crazy. That was.
2019 was crazy.
Yeah. Big Boy did his own thing.
You sure
The
did.
Sprite stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. He closed out the Sprite stage.
Currency.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, it's from Louisiana to Dade County, Miami. I mean, it was just that's like One Music Fest is that, man. It's black culture. It's a buffet, man, of our culture, man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys planted the flag here in Atlanta, 15 years of One Music Fest, and now you guys have created a sister festival in Dallas, TwoGether Land. Can you speak to that and you know exactly what that is?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We always wanted to have a sister property, and was really trying to figure out where do we go. So looked at I mean, we looked at Brooklyn, looked at LA,
Houston.
looked at Houston, and then, you know, my frat brother was in Dallas and was in my ear about Dallas. He had relationships there, set up the meeting with the mayor, and I kept going back to Dallas, just trying to feel the energy and realize that they've never had a black hip hop R&B festival in Dallas.
Wow.
I said, all these black and brown folks, y'all ain't never have nothing quite like this? They was like, no. I said, that's crazy. So we said, all right, so let's build it. Let's fill that space. And then that whole area too, you know, because you got your Austin, San Antonios, your Houstons, your OKC, your Little Rocks. So you got a lot of drivable areas that never had anything quite like this.
Right.
So we said, let's give the culture what it needs. And same thing, man. We did the first one, had damn near 30,000 folks out there, and folks were just like, yo, we ain't never seen nothing like this. And we thank you all for having this, right? Like the activations we had out there, you know, it was Bevel and Mael, and you know, it was a black experience, black vendors, roller skating rink, and folks were super appreciative.
Wow. And so,
In the midst of tornadoes.
Oh shit! It almost didn't happen.
Yeah.
and you know, Texas, I mean, you know, we know Houston had, you know, an incredible run, and is having, you know, this incredible resurgence. And then Dallas has had, you know, a huge underground scene and push for so long. So it is surprising that there haven't been, you know, any type of, you know, big festivals or anything like that in that area. Now, interesting enough, you know, when you guys first started your festival, there were a few festivals out, Rock the Bells. I mean, of course, we all know South by Southwest.
Right.
You know, you had like Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. I think MERS had the Paid Dues Festival out there on the West Coast. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like your normal thing to have a festival. Now, we're seeing so many festivals popping up. Different artists are hosting their own festivals and things like that. Do you guys feel like the festival game is getting oversaturated?
Absolutely.
No question.
So, but you know, I think but you also got to look at who's behind it. I think that's the thing that a lot of people aren't looking at, right? I mean, it may be a name attached to it, but who's really behind it?
Right.
So, you know, as things get popular, especially with our culture, you got people that don't look like us that like love to do a money grab. You know what I'm saying? Infiltrate, plant a couple of seeds, see how they can get it moved. So, you know, I think it is saturated, but I think your consumers can sniff out authenticity. You know what I'm saying? And we're 1,000%, I would say, pioneers in this space. You know, when we were doing it, only other festival we had something to compare us to was Essence. That was it. But at that time, that was like kind of mom and dad's festival. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was also kind of, it was a big concert that had an expo attached to it.
Right.
It wasn't really an outdoor, multi-stage kind of, you know, Bonnaroo, Coachella experience.
Right.
And that was really the mindset. How do we build that? But, you know, is it saturated? Yeah. But I think those that really impact culture, impact music, and move the needle will stay. And I think the others will fade.
When everything you do, once people notice that somebody else can do it and it's successful, they're gonna try to do it and mimic it. Like everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can you guys speak to, you know, you guys all bring a different dynamic to your team as well. Lee, I know you know, having worked at, you know, the different record labels, have managed, you know, several worldwide tours, have managed artists and have signed artists to labels. Troy, I know you as a digital storyteller, you know, and doing what you've done, you know, within that realm. And then Jay, I know you having worked with different brands and worked, in that marketing sector and like on the agency side. But can you speak to like the importance of being able to understand like your strengths, weaknesses, and being able to put that together in a team?
I think it's I think that's where we saw the most success, is when you stop and really kind of look at what you do well and what you don't do well, and you build a team around that and allow people to kind of stay in their lanes and flourish and contribute. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's, in football, it's 11 folks on a field at one time, right? But it's one play. But everybody has a very specific job.
Absolutely.
And if everybody does what they're supposed to do, we're gonna move that ball forward, right? So that's what it's about, man. It's about building a team, man, and being humble and grounded enough to know what you do well and where your shortfalls are, and then find people that can fill those space and let them shine.
Oh
Yeah,
I
would.
sorry.
No, I was gonna say I would agree. I think, and that obviously it starts with starts from the top, right? That he's our brother, our friend, but he's a fearless leader when it comes to this, right? But everybody's comfortable in their own skin, and there's a level of emotional intelligence that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody knows what their role is, right? I don't step in a lane that I'm not called for in, right? And that's fine. But when called to do something, you're expected to be excellent. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why we gel so well together, and why the energy is so great. It really is a family energy, and that exudes to everybody that comes to the festival. Jay said something yesterday that actually blew me away on a day when Frankie Beverly died. He said, somebody said to him, one music fest feels like a big hug. And I was like, wow. That says a lot, so it's a place of comfort for our folks to come to, that aren't, again, 50% that aren't from the state of Georgia or from Atlanta, that they want to come to a place of comfortability from the Carolinas, DC, Chicago, LA, Houston, Indianapolis. Like, we got all the data, we know where everybody's coming from. So it's a pilgrimage for them to come to a place of comfort and feel comfort amongst their own.
And the team, like our team, is incredible. Like within itself, like outside of us, you have Steve Canal, who's amazing at what he does. Oronike, Josh, Robbie. Each year we employ what, 1,000?
There's 4,000 people out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's 4,000. Yeah, it's 4,000 people we got to pay every year to put this thing on. Wow. But I mean, that's from a stagehand to a police officer to craft services to people that's bringing the porta potties and monitoring that, and that's a lot of things. Yeah. And beer. We hardly got to have big beer over there.
And Bluey.
And but we also we did a co-promotion partnership with Live Nation Urban. That's our family as well. So Sean G, Mike Carney, Mari, Panky, Brandon Panky, Malcolm. Like they put on too, man. So they're part of this family and the success of this brand as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. One music festival. What's the dates? So that we can tell the people the dates and where they can get the tickets and everything.
October 26th and October 27th.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, location for tickets, just go to onemusicfest.com. I know our VIP tickets about sold out, Platinum's about sold out, GA Plus just sold out. We got single day tickets, GA tickets available. Students, if y'all want to come kick it, we got a great deal for y'all. All you got to do is use your student email address. Make sure it has .edu at the end, and you get 20% off your tickets. So, we're trying to be a little price sensitive to those that may not have it all, but want to be a part of it. So yeah.
And for those people who haven't been to One Music Fest, you're bugging. And for those people who have been there,
Yeah.
tell a friend and tell them why
no-
they should come.
yeah, no
Because
doubt.
again, man, it's just the experience that you're gonna have. It's unlike no other, especially with us because you don't like a lot of us go to concerts, they don't go to festivals, and so the experience that you're actually going to have at one music fest is
Yeah, and the festival is a totally different experience
Absolutely.
from a concert.
Right.
You know, I feel like at a festival you can almost get a little more comfortable. You can almost,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
it's just a more comfortable vibe. I mean, between having vendors and just different, things to do. You know what I mean? It just gives you a full experience. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, and you can tell, like when we say it's colorful, I'm not talking about skin tones and hues. I'm talking about personalities. Like when you see, you're gonna see some of the wildest outfits. Like it's one of these places where, when we say it's comfortable to be celebrated, obviously these people totally believe that because they come dressed however they feel. I'm telling you, man. But that brings a smile to my face. Like I want to see the diversity of our culture and our people and fashion and how they move and style. But it is that. It's come as you are. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take your little yoga mat, your blanket, lay it out on the ground. You know what I'm saying? If you got your special herb that you wanna, you know what I'm saying, indulge. Have fun. That's what it is.
For sure. And again, I want to make sure to shout you brothers out for creating so many job opportunities. With your guys' idea and dream that you brought to existence. You guys have been able to bring so many jobs and opportunities and giving artists so many opportunities and pump millions of dollars into Atlanta's economy. So I just want to shout you guys out for that because I don't think that like people need to hear that. Like you guys need to understand that like what you guys are doing, not only are people having fun and enjoying the music, but you guys are really impacting a lot of people's lives out here. And so I just want to shout you guys out for that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, man.
Do you guys have any shout outs that you want to give or any other info you want to share?
Yeah, I'd love to shout out because honestly, the success of the festival does not work without brand partnerships and strategic partnerships. So this year we have Procter & Gamble, Toyota's involved, Hennessy, I'm blanking out.
Right.
Backwoods, Jack Daniels has been there since day one. So they've been rolling since 2010. So shout out to the Brown-Forman family. Who am I
Sprite.
missing? Oh God, Sprite, Coca-Cola. Yeah, so it's not possible without those brand partnerships. So yes. So continue to believe and invest into the culture, and we promise to continue to deliver on it.
Yeah, shout out Atlanta. Shout out the city of Atlanta for supporting us, embracing us, and helping make it like the festival what it is today. I don't know if could this happen, how it happens in the feeling in any other city. No.
I don't know about that.
No, I say it. No.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
Atlanta is the perfect garden for something like this to grow. This don't happen nowhere else, man. It don't happen.
Yeah,
You know, and it just doesn't happen, man. Atlanta, being able to be in a space like a Piedmont Park, being in a space like Central Park, having the mayor part of this. I mean, we had Stacey Abrams on our stage. We had, Senator Raphael Warnock on our stage. You know what I'm saying? We are not only given to the people of the culture, but those folks that want to invest in the community and culture as well, we give them a platform. So we don't purposely be political, but how do you not use your platform to push the culture forward? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if we can reach, 1 million people online and 100,000 people in person, you know what I'm saying? And you got some turbulence going on within our government, right? Then, we should be a voice. We should be a soundboard for that. So, but as the old adage go, where they do that at? Atlanta. Atlanta, the civil rights movement.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? 40 years of black mayors and city council, and bro, Atlanta's different.
Yeah.
Atlanta's different. It's a very special place.
And it does influence everything. That ain't no lie.
Yeah.
It ain't a lie.
Nah, that's real.
And a post-human shout out to somebody that always said he worked for us without us paying him. Clay, you understand? Clay Evans. Clay Evans, man.
Much love to Clay, man.
Yeah,
That's my brother.
no doubt.
That's what's up, man. Well, appreciate you brothers pulling up and jumping off the porch with us.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah.